Welcome
Jesus.
all. Hello, everyone. Ho, ho, ho. And welcome to the Dr.Z NFT podcast, December editions, where we talk about NFTs and good times with Matt Gazer and Gordon out of Scotland.
Hello.
Yeah, the world connection here always.
Yeah.
At
Hands
the
across the
Dr.Z
seas.
NFT podcast. So,
Yeah.
how is everyone doing right now? Are we all good?
Over here in Hawaii at the Santa's workshop, we've been putting some. These are some of the. This sounds like it's a Lego. This is probably a Lego of some kind, and then this is probably some kind of Star Wars character of some kind. But so Santa's been working in his shop to get those things ready for the Wii ones, the Wii kids.
Yes.
Is that for your kids, Rolf?
Yes. Yeah, I've got three
cool.
kids, so I've done a good job brainwashing them into thinking that Star Wars is, one of the best things possible. Plus, other fun things. They're really into Power Rangers and Legos as well.
I mean, that's going to be the total polar opposite for Matt, right? Because his daughter's got to be like closed off, I'd imagine.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because her birthday was this weekend, so it's pretty funny. It's like her birthday and then Christmas and then my birthday right after, and so it's like it drives my wife crazy because it's like trying to organize gifts and everything. It's just crazy. I told her this year, like, I don't want anything. Like, you letting me do this project is a gift enough.
Gift enough. Yeah.
So, dude, are we going to Mexico or what? Are we going to Mexico?
So for the Daydream Festival. So I actually started designing the stage for the February 1st event at Holbox, HOLBOX, Holbox. It's an island off the Yucatan Peninsula near Cancun. I do the Daydream Festival every year. Because of COVID, it kind of paused for 2 years. But this year they're doing a small one on an island. Yeah, lots of EDM music, But it's going to be fun. I think we're going to do it for sure. It's definitely happening. Whether or not we go because of COVID restrictions, I don't know yet. I have a meeting with my boss from the Daydream Festival tomorrow, and we're going to go over the details of the stage. And then I'm going to ask him, like, do you need to be vaccinated? Because don't let the cat out of the bag, but I'm not vaccinated. So if you have to be vaccinated to go, maybe it's just you, Rolf. I don't know.
I'm down.
Just bring someone and have a good time there.
Good times.
But yeah, it's exciting. It's a very simple stage this year because it has to be put up and torn down in one day. Whereas the other stages are just like the size of a city block with scaffolding and pyrotechnics and everything. It's a whole different scale.
Yeah, the one is for 100,000 people. This one's for like a few hundred people. So
because it's but I got the poster from one year.
The stage design is crazy though. Like every time I've seen those things live on your website, like it is crazy how everything you've drawn is like at that scale across those stages.
Yeah, I mean some of the textures. Like I don't just design the stage; I actually do all the textures for the stage, and each texture is like 9 gigs of information. I remember years it was crazy because I had to send it over the internet, and I was having problems with sending it over. Like Dropbox was having trouble processing that much data. It was crazy. It was very stressful at times, but this year it's going to be easier. I think we're mostly going to use banners, printed banners, and maybe a kiosk where the DJ stands. And Rolf actually came up with an idea of using an electronic screen that maybe they can ship over. That's easy to remove quickly. That we can pump different images on and kind of change up the experience. But
I think that's the easiest thing to do is you put up a few screens and they're just bouncing different images. There's a whole, can even go to the beat of the music or some
But in the contract, I was able to lock in that we can promote Dr. Zammsy. I guess a lot of crypto whale guys are living in Miami, and Holbox is a hop skip across the Gulf from Miami. Yeah. So they're going to fly in on private jets and helicopters, a lot of these guys, and they're going to give them private tables. And so we're going to have our promo cards with a QR code on there to get our NFTs and stuff. So be really exciting. that also, we can finally announce that we're going to be making a set 3 officially, and we're targeting the beginning to middle of
set January 3, baby.
For the set 3 is happening. So we're in the early stages of planning it, but part of the process of set 3 was to remove the battle cards that people have been collecting off NEFTY blocks. So if you've been collecting those trading cards, they've been off they're now not available at this moment.
They're not available.
They're not available.
They're not available, except for the badass one that came out on Friday. I don't know. I think that was one of our best cards with our Professor Atlas Lyon. I mean, if you haven't seen, so the front image is awesome, but then there's a couple more images. If you look at the back of the first back, you get to see the valley that he went into, and that's just a really cool painting. And then the whole story. I mean, basically, that card itself could be its own movie. Could be a movie or an episode.
It could be a movie. We're basically creating an entire world that many stories with many main characters could take place. So,
it's like Star Wars and Harry Potter on their own, because within those worlds there are so many offshoots. Like there's Fantastic Beasts now outside of like just Harry Potter. So there's infinite possibilities to branch.
I think what could end up happening is Halo Bridge Hospital just becomes the main character of the story, and it's just all the people who's today, who we're going to follow today from Halo Bridge Hospital.
Yeah, Halo Bridge is kind of our Hogwarts, right? And whatever comes out of that, like for example, Professor Atlas Lyon is a zoologist, and he goes on these crazy expeditions to research new animals, and through that the hospital can gain more medical knowledge and things.
Introduce creatures to the world and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And so that this particular card last Friday was fun because the story's about him going on this crazy expedition and what happens on that expedition, and that they bring robots with them, and they have like these pack mules that are robotic that follow them in the jungle. Anyway, they get into this crazy scenario. But to go back to set 3, even though we pulled a lot of those cards off the market, we're going to put them back on for one more week. We're going to announce that date. That 7-day span here pretty soon, and then after that last week, we're giving you one more chance to collect as many as you think you want. Then we're going to pull completely off the market forever, and then we're going to repackage those in a whole new way for set 3. So we're going to have sketch cards, we're going to have animated cards, we're going to have whole new frames to the cards, and all these things are going to be more valuable in the card game. So just
the first
excited.
The first edition of these battle cards though will be, whoever got them, they're going to be very rare, basically, this very first edition. So you may see an animated version or something later, but it's going to be for a larger audience, whereas the people who got those first set of battle cards are going to be happy that they had something very rare and will be used in the game as well.
Yeah, they're going to get first edition.
We've been testing out some animated cards as well. Like I've been kind of mucking about with some animations and seeing what could work and getting some ideas. But the animated stuff's looking cool.
Honestly, Gordon, the animated tests that you've been doing on those cards look so phenomenal that, I mean, we could probably, with a little more tweaking, get those to be used in the set 3 launch. Yeah.
I've actually been looking into trying to learn Adobe Animate because I've heard good things about it. So I might expand my Swiss Army knife again and try and learn something else. So,
dude, if we could use you as an animator for these cards, that'd be amazing. Yeah, I mean, you're already doing a great job. So, with your tests,
it's fun.
So, other news: we have our white paper that is almost done. That should be up on the website here in the next couple weeks, or maybe even this week. Just depends on how close they get to final. The white paper is going to describe in great detail everything that you'd expect. Just a breakdown of the game, vision goals for the near term, and just it's kind of like essentially a roadmap for the game and how we plan to launch it. And then on top of that, we're also going to release a GDD, a game design doc, and that is going to go into extreme detail. And this thing's almost finished too. There's no line
it's
about
got wireframes of how gameplay works and things.
Everything. So if you've been confused of what this game's going to actually be, you're going to get a beat to beat exactly how it's going to play out, and then how the cards translate into the game. And it's kind of funny coming from the game industry. People usually kept that kind of stuff secret in the console gaming world, just because you don't want your competitors to like, steal your ideas. But in this space for NFTs, it just makes more sense because the more people know what we're actually doing, the more real it seems for them to collect our cards, right? Because you're actually proving that you're making a card game.
Yeah.
It's so funny that like a lot of our competitors are promising a game, but they're not actually showing anything or explaining anything of what the actual game is really going to be, other than we're making a game. But we're doing the opposite. We're actually showing everything. So it's really
that'll come to a point at one time in our existence where we'll have to keep things close to our chest. But I think because the company's so new and we have so many people interested, even with venture capitalists, right? Because they want to see behind the scenes as well about what we're doing. So I think that's why we're so public about it. But there probably will come a time in the future when we make more worlds or more IPs that stuff will be more under wraps as we go forward.
Speaking of venture capitalists, Rolf, do you want to tell the audience a little more about our meeting tomorrow and how that's going?
Yeah, just know that we're in all these we're in on Discord, we're on Telegram, chatting with everybody. But then when we're not on there, we're in these meetings. It seems like almost every day with our game developer and getting all the documents needed for the venture capitalists to basically ramp up, because we're making some revenue and we're able to create parts of the game, but getting extra funding will just ramp that up, and so we can hire people, more full-time people to get the game to you guys faster. So yeah, we have a big meeting tomorrow, and then we're kind of shopping around at different groups. There's people are interested in this product, so we're just seeing who wants to partner with us and bring this thing to the next level. So pretty excited. Excited about that.
The venture capitalist firm that we've been talking with, this is going to be our third meeting with them, and they're really excited. So they asked us to provide a few major documents, and the GDD, the white paper, a breakdown of our budget was all part of that. So we're wrapping that up and giving that to them tomorrow. It's really exciting. They have a lot of funding and they have a lot of interest in our project. So, and that's just one. And we, our game developer has lined up like 2 or 3 other potential investors as well. So, yeah, it's really awesome. On the front of the animated series, our writer in our last meeting last week, he said, "Well, the breakdown of all the episodes is going extremely well. The story is evolving in a whole new way that I couldn't have predicted with all our original content we've been producing all year. It's really fantastic. He's tying it all in. There's a lot of new things that he's creating and we're collaborating with. But one of the questions he asked in our last meeting was, have you guys started thinking about who could play the voice of Dr. Zammsy? And Sacha Baron Cohen has always been our top list, but he's like, who do you actually have connections with that you could get a voice? I said, well, one of my best colleague friends here in town where I live is actually really good friends with, excuse me, not Denzel Washington, Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
The
Although it'd be awesome, dude, if we could get Denzel Washington, that would be ridiculous.
It'd be ridiculous. But Pierce Brosnan is actually extremely close friends, like elbow to elbow with him on a variety of different projects. I meet with Jamie, I'd say twice a month. He always tells me, he's been hanging out, shows me pictures of him hanging out with Pierce Brosnan. Well, I asked him point blank. I called him on the phone. I said, "Hey, is there any way we could, pitch Dr. Zammsy once the pitch is done to Pierce?" And he said, "Absolutely. I'm meeting with him in Atlanta at Pinewood Studios next month. If you could get it done, by February, I think it's an easy sell. He's a huge art collector. He's also has his own. He's getting into NFTs himself, and so he thinks that this could be a shoe-in, basically." So
yeah.
So if we get,
I could see that. I could see him as the voice. That's something I could see.
Yeah. A little bit of an English kind of accent.
Well, he was also Bond for a time, so I mean, like I could see the whole suave thing going into Zammsy as well.
Bond.
Totally.
Bond. James Bond.
All it takes, man, is a good story.
Hey, baby.
And you attach a major actor like that, and we're sailing, dude.
Austin Powers, little Bond, little Austin Powers.
Oh yeah.
Hey, baby.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So So that was exciting.
I mean, dude, I'm just really excited for the holidays. Like, I feel like yesterday was the first time I really got into, it's weird. It's like these years with COVID and everything, just the whole year goes by really fast. And I just all of a sudden got into the holiday spirit and super excited for some of these shows and movies coming out too. Like The Expanse, like probably one of my favorite sci-fi shows. Like if you guys like Star Wars or Star Trek, there's this show called The Expanse on Amazon, which is one of the best shows ever made. And they just started the final season just started on Friday. And then we got The Witchers coming out on Friday on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then of course, the one we've all been waiting for 40 years is find out what happened to Boba Fett. So I hope that I know it's going to be all news stories, but I hope they explain, what happened to Boba Fett, how he survived the Sarlacc, and we're going to find out here on December 29th.
It's funny how they're pitching that whole thing. It's kind of like The Sopranos in space. That's what it seems like a kind of gangster mafia kind of thing. So, yeah, which I think is cool because Boba Fett is an assassin of types, like, and most gangsters are assassins. So, like, I think it fits well with the world. So,
completely. Yeah.
If I could see Boba as a Dawn, that'd be cool.
It's not very sci-fi related, but my wife and I discovered that Sex and the City has a new series out.
I heard about that.
Yeah, and it's really good. It's like what I was blown away at is they hit all the major points about what's going on in our society like head on. Like the woke movement, the discrepancies between like older white people and younger Black people, and just like the generational gaps on like how things are changing versus like trying to understand like, you may mean well and it comes across wrong accidentally, and like all these things. So it's just a fascinating series. It's less and less of this new one about the actual act of like making love and finding a partner as more surviving, where your life is at a certain age, especially in your older chapters.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to be this gap that is going to start when people start to realize that they missed out on the Bitcoin thing and they have to catch up and get up to speed. There's just going to be this, there's going to be definitely the people that figured it out and the people who may never understand it. Because I had a friend in Canada. I was trying to get this. I really wanted, if anyone saw from last summer, the Canadian Olympic team had these insane like 80s graffiti jackets where they're like their actual uniform, like a denim jacket, like from like Thriller from like the 80s. And I wanted one of those, and I tried to get my friend in Canada to buy me one, but it was hard to figure out how to send him money. So I was like, "Oh, can I just send you some Bitcoin?" And he wrote back, he's like, "I don't do Bitcoin." I was like, I didn't say anything back to him, but I was just like,
to that. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh geez."
Yeah, did you guys hear
Sorry.
I was going to say, did you guys hear the story about the companies, I think specifically people who are investing in game companies that are buying up virtual real estate in games?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like one company was like, it was like 4 million or something for like something like 5 acres of land in one metaverse. But like, it's crazy how that's like we talked about it, I think at one point a couple of episodes ago, where the guy who bought Beeple's like $93 million collection of all his NFTs, he then was talking to people like who was one of the guys. It was a guy who was on the Joe Rogan show. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was talking to the guy who bought the NFTs, Beeple's stuff, and he was saying, the next thing is going to be virtual real estate within the metaverse. That's going to be the next thing that people will be buying. And and then just today I was watching one of the financial diet things that I watch, and the guys were talking about like the whole thing of companies now spending millions of dollars to buy up real estate in the metaverse, which is crazy.
Which is really weird.
Instead of shopping malls, like instead of a shopping mall, a physical one, you'll just go into the metaverse and walk through like you're in a mall and go to a store and purchase stuff in a virtual way.
Yep.
But I would expect that whole experience of looking at those goods in like a virtual mall would be like a virtual world of that product. Like if you go into the Adidas store, it's like, you got basketball players and soccer players playing around you in these arenas while the shoes are really large, rotating. It'd be a totally different experience and wild and really cool. The interesting thing that blows my mind is that people are willing to pay $4 million for real estate in something that could potentially be infinite. So how do you value that plot when it could be sold infinitely next to each other? I guess it's just like any other thing. If you create a square in the digital world and then you have these slots where people are hanging out, that space is really, really popular, right? So you want to lock in your space in that zone.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, no, but the way the guy explained it is that most, even digital currencies, right, like Bitcoin, because Bitcoin itself is finite, right, and there's no infinite Bitcoin. You only buy so much at a time, and they only release or mine so much at a time. So he's it's the same in the digital space. I mean, the way he explains it, I can read it kind of verbatim, because the question was, why would you buy land in the metaverse? Isn't it infinite or unlimited? And his response was, not exactly. It's not infinite. It's limited like Bitcoin. Even though Bitcoin is digital, it's still scarce. Same with land. According to the Grayscale Trust, which is a group of wealthy investors, they say that the metaverse is $1 trillion market opportunity. That's $1 trillion in revenue per year. No company in the world makes that kind of money yet, and the land in the metaverse is supposed to play a big part in that revenue. So the question is, how would you make money? So I mean, he even said that the line is that, that the initial pitch for the video was that a Canadian crypto company, focused company called, I think it's the Metaverse Group, just bought 116 pieces of land, each about 52.5 square feet, which is 6,090 square feet. Just for context, it's about the size of 3 tennis courts, relatively small, and they paid 618,000 mana, which is I think about 3 or 4 million in cryptocurrency. So, it's people are obviously seeing this curve that's coming where this is going to be a big investment, and we were talking about it with Zammsy, it could be something that we could offer people at one point as well, where people could live and walk about the streets and cities of Lyon and
totally. I mean,
Yep.
I'm even open to the idea of people could start modeling their own characters and texturing them as long as they get approved by us. Then they could sell their characters to other players, and maybe they have their own shop that's doing that. Not just characters, but items, really cool, rare objects, that might have some kind of power. So it's huge, but that scale requires a lot of funding. So either people just buy up all our product at once, or we get venture capital, which is looking very likely, or both. And we can expand the team and make it happen. So
I think that the safest way for companies to survive is that you have multiple streams of revenue. So it wouldn't be just one income that would be generating the whole Zammsy universe. It would be loads of things coming in at one go, and then just building that up from
advertising, all kinds of things. Yeah. Anyway, man, a lot of potential. We're still kicking it, and I can't wait for the next year.
It's fun to just reflect back on what we've done this year. We literally started doing this in January, and now we're at December, so 12 months. I mean, this is just our first year.
In August, and then Daydream was recent as well, same with Carol. So you guys started with 3 or 4 people, and now we're nearly 10.
So, I
know. So we need to do a time capsule and be okay, here, this time next year, we'll be where were we last year or whatever.
Yeah.
So let's wrap this up. But before we do, I just want to let everyone know, all you fans out there, we thank you so much for continuing to collect our cards each week, and we're really excited about this set 3 that's coming out in January. Also look on our Discord and Telegram for the link to the white paper and the GED. That gets you guys lined up and educated about what the game really is going to look like in terms of the gameplay and all that stuff. So just thanks for your support, guys. We're still working very hard over here, and see you next week.
Indeed.
All right.
Bye guys.
And may the force be with you.
Yes.